Hey everybody, welcome back. I was thinking about doing this video for a while, just been extremely busy lately, and this would be a pretty quick point I wanted to make. And one of my subscribers, one of the persons I subscribe to, Cindy Lester, made a video about this the other day, talking about how we're like a divided nation by politics, and it seemed like it started all the way back. I mean, we've always had two separate parties, Democrats and Republicans. But yeah, it seems like ever since the Trump-Hillary election, I saw things took a turn. Saw things take a turn for the absolute worst, and it just doesn't seem like things seem to be getting any better. And she had mentioned the same thing too. That it used to be people had their disagreements, but it wasn't like people, for the most part, were being nasty and disowning people, going their own separate ways. It's like you kind of. It was kind of say you had your disagreements, but then after that you moved on. You were still friendly with each other. You were still friendly with people at work, family members or just neighbors, things like that. But yeah, it seems like with our current rhetoric, and then there was this upcoming election coming up next November, it just seems like things are getting even more heated, and there's just going to be a whole lot of pissed off people either way. If Trump gets reelected, obviously the Trump supporters are gonna be even more on an ego trip. They're probably gonna get even more nasty, and the Democrats, if they which I don't see happening, but it just doesn't seem like any of the Democratic candidates have enough to beat Trump. But let's say one of them were to happen to beat Trump, I just see the Trump supporters going nuts, rioting, and it won't be pretty either way. But it's kind of like sports. I know there's a lot of topic. I don't know about women. I don't really know like I know they have a lot of women have conversations with other women. Usually me about their kids or school, things like that. I don't really know what women talk about for the most. I mean, my wife, she spends most of her friends are her coworkers. I know they talk about work a lot and going back to school and going into different areas of nursing. So other than that, I really don't know what most women talk about. But I know being a guy myself and with other guys, a lot of times we'll talk about like sports, movies, things like that for the most part, and beer, things like that. Like I know all my life, every guy, like with beer, for example, every guy that is a beer drinker pretty much has his favorite beer. And, guys like my friends and I, like guy friends and I, we used to tease each other about, the kind of beer we liked. I liked a certain type of beer, and, some friends of mine like, oh man, how can you drink that? That's garbage. And like, well, I think the beer you drink is garbage too, but it was fun. It was kind of like, battering it back and forth. It was, to kind of, make fun of each other, but yet you still love each other, still friends at the end of the day. And I don't see that happening with politics. I see people just, breaking off their connections. And, so there's that, and then, oh yeah, sports is another thing. Like, I'm from Chicago, the White Sox and the Cubs are a big rival. Like, I know my friends and I, like, I'm a Cubs fan, and I used to, like, make bets, when the Cubs and the Sox, they do that interleague play, they play each other, like, once or twice a year. I used to tease my Sox fans, like, oh, we're going to tear you up tomorrow, and, we batter it back and forth. We'd make bets, and, they would go, come on, Jeff, the Cubs aren't going to beat the Sox, save your $10. But here's my $10. The Cubs are gonna win. I'm telling you. And sure enough, one particular time I got my $10, and then I got the laugh, but it wasn't like, oh, you're stupid, you're a snowflake, you're a loser. That's the kind of rhetoric we're seeing right now. But yeah, like especially just like those two things, like beer choices and sports, movies, things like that, is guys have like disagreements about, but yet at the end of the day, they can still suck it up and laugh about it. And I just don't see that happening with our current political rhetoric. And I think the first time I really saw this happening, because I didn't really pay attention to politics until the 2008 election, because things had gotten so bad under George W. Bush, and that was the 2008 election. That was the first time I had actually voted, gotten registered to vote, and I thought that maybe this is the time. I saw how bad things had gotten, and I was worried about the state about the economy, the direction that the country was going. And I figured, maybe it's time I start paying attention, start making a difference, vote, and start caring. And this is first, maybe it's just, it could have happened in my family before, but maybe this was like the first time I actually wasn't at this party, but this is like the first time I'd ever heard about anything like this. It was like, whoa, 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 whoa. And turned out my mom and dad, my dad's got two brothers and a sister, and them and their spouses are all Republicans. My mom and dad are Democrats. Of course, my mom and dad can go back and forth, but I know this particular election, I was like that too. Things were so bad under Bush. I said, I don't care who runs the Democratic Party. I said, I'm voting Democrat no matter what. I said, I want, after Bush, I'm like, the fuck with Republicans. I want the Republican Party out. I want to change, and which is what Obama was constantly talking about, change and hope. And I think my mom and dad felt the same way, but a lot of my Republican family members, they were sticking with the Republican Party. And that's sort of thing. Last election, I saw a lot of people changing parties. A lot of people were always vote Democrat, went to Republican, and some people were Republican, like, oh, I can't vote for Trump, and they actually voted for Hillary. It was a really strange election that way. But yeah, getting back to it, and it was such a shame. It was right before the 2008 election. It was either like late October or early November of 2008. And they got together for somebody's birthday. They went out to dinner, and then they went back to one of their houses for dessert and coffee afterwards. And they were just sitting around shooting the shit and having friendly conversation, family conversation about whatever comes to mind. And one aunt she really loves, was a Republican, she really loves politics, and I don't think she was purposely trying to get anybody's goat, but it actually did to get a lot of people's goats. And this, even since then, this still, even though my mom does what she does now, she still tends to pop the question a lot, or come up with something, some type of, there's that saying that sometimes, just asking one simple question can lead to a great conversation that could go on for like half an hour, which is true. I found that myself, but also, asking a question, once a bad question, can lead to a conversation that could go on for hours, which obviously happened this night. So anyways, my one aunt who's really into politics, a Republican, I guess like this is what started the whole thing. And she said, like, oh, she just popped the question, like, who do you think the next president's going to be? And my mom and dad were, going for Obama at the time. So they said, oh, we were both liking Obama. And like I said, I wasn't there, but I guess everyone else, the other six of them, said they were going for John McCain. And it just started like a huge argument. Like I said, I wasn't there, but I guess like my dad, there was actually like name calling. People were making my dad feel like he was stupid for supporting Obama. Like, why would you want to support him? He's going to do this. And my dad's like, well, why would you want to support John McCain? He's going to do this, do that. So it kept going, back and forth. And I don't know how it actually ended, but I know that night my dad was so pissed off. Mom and dad had an hour drive home, and I know my dad was so pissed off on the whole drive home, and my mom was crying, and then my dad was still going on and on about, how can they say that to me? How can they support John McCain? How can they go against, my feelings, my wishes like that? Down talk so nasty about, the candidate that I think is going to give me a better life and make a better country. And my mom's like, what, Rich, she told my dad, she's like, don't discuss politics with people. She's like, it just starts arguments. And that actually is a good thing. I started a huge argument. I wasn't trying to. I was just discussing. I was very emotional about it. And I was discussing my feelings about Trump on Facebook. And I lost about 3 friends and a cousin over it. And after that, I was like, that's it. I'm not putting up any more political posts. And I do talk about politics on here a lot. But it's like, again, I'm just, I'm not trying to get anybody's goat. And nobody's tried to get my goat. Everyone's been very respectful. I appreciate that. But from what I found, a lot of my subscribers, we're respectful of each other. We tend to have a lot of common ground. I found that's the thing now, which, I tend to only discuss, usually people discuss politics with me first. They bring it up. I actually don't bring it up with anybody, like at work or neighbors, things like that. I wait till they bring it up to me first. And, usually I'll only bring it up again if I know that we have common ground because I'm not looking. Even though if we have common ground, we're not going to have arguments. We may have disagreements here and there, but we're not going to have. It's not like totally opposite day and night where we're going to tear at each other's throats. And I just found that definitely don't discuss politics with strangers. Don't discuss politics with people that you know they're, because you're more likely not going to be able to change them, change the way they vote. You don't want to have discussions with people that you know are just, so, thick as a ball of mud, so hard-headed, hard as a brick wall. You're not going to change them, so it's like, don't even, it's just nothing good's going to come out of it. So I normally, like I said, I just discuss politics with people I know now they're on similar grounds with me, or if they bring it up first. Normally, if somebody were to bring it up, because I was getting my oil changed, one particular day and at the facility, and this guy was coming in talking. This was actually, I think it was before the 2016 election. And this guy came in talking about, how great that Donald Trump would be as our next president. And I'm just like, oh my God. And, instances like that, because I don't like arguments. If I have like a political disagreement with somebody, you could do one or two things. I normally just try to be polite and just, sit there and listen to them talk, just listen to them dig their own grave, Now, more likely, there's other people around, they see that you're introverted like I am. Other people will discuss it with them, or maybe put them in their place, or argue with them. Or you can just, say like, I really don't care to discuss politics. That's what my mom does with my aunt. My aunt, even after that, my aunt still continues to bring up politics, and my mom will usually say, like as soon as she says anything, I don't know if she forgets, but this continues to happen at family parties where she'll bring up something political, and my mom's like, no, please, no politics tonight. I want to enjoy my evening, and she says normally that works. That shuts her up. So yeah, that's all I have to say about that. Comment, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you all real soon with another great video. Hey, have a great week, everybody. Bye.